Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some NBA with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, if you guys don't know already, it's been reported by ESPN and a number of news outlets that the Miami Heat have signed guard Dion Waiters to a one-year deal worth $2.9 million. It's really peanuts for a guy in Waiters who was a top 5 pick, I believe. He was also, just a guy who was highly guys are pretty high, and also, can play. He can score the basketball. He has scored roughly 10 points per game, just under 10 points per game last year in Oklahoma City. So he's coming to Miami now, and I think for the Heat, they're gonna be a way different team this year. And that's what this video is gonna be about. It's gonna be about how these new guys that they got are gonna fit into their team, and if they can compete in the East. So obviously we know in Miami that Dwayne Wade has left. Chris Bosh's future is very uncertain. So we just got to go by what we have right now on the roster. So we know that at the point guard position, we have Goran Dragic, who's a solid top 15 point guard. And on his best night, he's a fringe top 10 guy. When he's really on, he's top 10 caliber. At center, we have a guy in Hassan Whiteside who just signed a max deal worth $98 million, and is the best rim protector in the game of basketball right now. But for all the defensive and physical gifts he has, they've been offset by his mental lapses, his mental capacity, and his inability to refrain from getting technical fouls and fouling, just being in foul trouble. And he's going to have to get a lot better as a defender. He's going to have to get a lot better as a post player. But the potential is there, and he can be someone that is one of the cornerstones of your franchise. The jury saw on whether you can build around him, because it just is. He has to get more basketball in the NBA under his belt, but he could definitely be a cornerstone of your franchise. So with that being said, your point guard and your center are established. With that being said, okay, so then the Heat signed Dion Waiters. He's gonna get a chance to start, but they also signed a slew of other guys, veterans and kind of mid-level rotational type of guys. Now they signed Wayne Ellington, proven three-point shooter. Been around the league, been on some good teams. Wayne Ellington can shoot, so floor spacing will be key for them, and that's going to enhance Dragic's game. Derek Williams had a good year in New York last year. Very quietly had himself a solid season with the New York Knicks last year. Was one of the better things about that Knicks team. Ironically, I would say that after Porzingis, Derek Williams is a quiet little season out there in New York with the Knicks. That had to be probably the best thing for him. So he'll be a good energy guy off the bench, which is crazy because he was the number 2 overall pick in the league. You want him to be a little bit more than a decent little energy guy, but he'll be a good energy guy off the bench for the Miami Heat. Athletic, will kind of add some athleticism to their wings. They also got James Johnson, who's been a decent kind of end of the bench fringe rotation player, good player, another energy guy, and then they acquired Luke Babbitt from the New Orleans Pelicans for a 2018 second round pick. Luke Babbitt can shoot, can't really do too much else outside of shooting. Then they matched the offer sheet with Tyler Johnson, so Tyler Johnson will be back with Heat. So you're looking at the lineup. You figure Dragic is going to be the point guard. Hassan will be the center. You have Justice Winslow manning the 3 spot. You'll have Josh Richardson, either Josh Richardson or Dion Waiters playing shooting guard. I would tend to believe that guy would probably be Richardson, being that they're leaning on him to develop, and he's one of their own. So you got Dragic, Richardson, Winslow, and then at power forward, you could throw in a Derek Williams. He could be a kind of one of those undersized forward type of guys, and then Hassan at center. So they have a decent team, very thin. They're going to be very thin depth-wise this year, but for the Heat, they're not going to be that team anymore that kind of slows the game down and does that. They have guys who like to run. They have a younger team now. They have guys who like to shoot the basketball. So they're going to be one of those teams that lives by the 3. They're going to be one of those teams that has to get creative every single night for offense. And really, it's going to be important within those first 25 games for them to establish an identity. And I think personally speaking, if I was coaching the Miami Heat, I would hang my hat on defense. You have some guys on the team who are very capable defenders. Hassan Whiteside, any team that plays the Heat is going to have a hard time scoring in the paint because of Hassan Whiteside. So that's been established. Outside of Hassan Whiteside, though, you have, the likes of Derek Williams, like I said earlier, capable defender. Dion Waiters, capable defender. Tyler Johnson gets after it on defense. Josh Richardson gets after it on defense. They have good wing defenders, so for the Heat to come on to offense, can they score enough points to win? And that'll be determined. I think Dion Waiters, that signing is going to help them in that department a little bit more. But I really can't see them being more than a 8th to 7th seed this year, and that's being nice. The Heat are either going to sneak their way into the playoffs, or they're going to have a very bad year. I don't see a high ceiling for them, unless Hassan Whiteside is just a lot better than we all think he is. That I think he is. I think he's a really good player, but I don't think he's going to be to the level where the Heat are going to be a top 5 seed or anything like that. So I think the pieces are going to fit well. Obviously, Dragic cannot get injured, and Hassan cannot get injured, because if they do, then it's game over. It's game over for them. They have no depth really. And Chris Bosh, I am of the belief that Chris Bosh will more than likely, not be with Miami Heat. I don't think the Heat are going to play him. They're going to allow him to sit until it's a year from his last played game. And as you guys know, if a guy has a medical condition and he sits out a year, dating back to the last game he played, the team can get out from under their contract, and that frees up a roster spot. And that's what I believe Pat Riley is trying to do, to free up space for bigger free agents. Russell Westbrook being one of them. So interesting time for the Miami Heat. They had a really good season last year, but I think this is kind of going to be a little bit of a down year for them. They can sneak into the playoffs, but really nothing more than a first round exit at most. So let me know what you guys think about the Heat, the new pieces: Wayne Ellington, Derek Williams, Luke Babbitt, Dion Waiters, all these guys, the younger guys getting bigger roles. Winslow, Richardson. Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.